Welcome to Vintage Gaming Memories. Shall we play a game?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping on by. We are going to look and see if we can put something on top of that workbench. And where we're going to go and find something, once again, this pile. And the item we're going to check out, I just found myself fascinated by it because it was listed by others for some crazy prices. And which one is it? This package here. What do you think it is? Well, let's take a look and see. Well, here it is. This is Dr. C. Wacko's Miracle Guide to Designing and Programming Your Own Atari Computer Arcade Games. This book's print is from 1983. And that was actually right in the heart of when I was playing on my Atari 800 and thinking that my 20 lines of basic code that I could write would qualify me to be called a programmer. That's a 12-year-old talking. This is another find that I never heard of, which makes me feel like gotta love that. Here's the odd thing. On eBay right now, you can find this book out there from anywhere between $100 to $900. And yes, I know anyone can ask for a crazy price, but what they're selling for is what really matters. So now there's only been 2 recent sales, including mine, which were both at the $60 mark. So you'd think those listings would lower their prices to what the market is calling for. Maybe the other guy and I got this at a steal for $60. Who knows? But let's see what the fuss is all about. Many are noting in their listings that this book is rare. Not quite certain how rare it is. I do recall reading that someone owed a lot to this book for teaching him how to program. Now there's 235 pages in this book. And it's supposedly set out to use humor to make it fun to learn. And the condition of this book, you know, there's a crease on the back corner of the cover, another crease in front. Other than that, the binding looks good. The pages look decent, really good. I don't see writing on them. No rips or tears or stains. That's a very big plus. Initially, the price was at $12.95. That's pretty much it with this book. Now, as I often do with books that I get, what I'm going to do is pause it right here, read through this pretty thoroughly, and then come back in a split second to fill you in on what I just absorbed. Okay, I'm back, and I wish it really only took a couple of seconds, but I'd say it was probably a good couple of hours that I was gone reading through this, and I looked at everything in this book from the beginning pages all the way to the end. Now, I didn't go through it to be tested on it, but I did go through it to find the essentials and kind of the key information that's within here. You know, and I know that in today's world, we can probably get this book online to view it, but there's just something more about having a physical version of it. So anyways, what did I learn from reading and perusing through? Well, humor is definitely used throughout this book, which is advertised. Actually, the very first page here brings up a good joke. It says that in case some idiot spilled clam dip on the cover, this is, and gives out the name of the book in case you ruin the cover. So you can get an idea of kind of the corny jokes and humor that's going to be within this book. Now, it does mention that the book will have arcade game elements within it, and we'll be exposed to it, which is good because that's the key of how they'll break it all down. And I'll show you this shortly. So let's just kind of go through the beginning here. Not all the pages, but let me just show you the operating instructions right over here. Again, the humor you're going to get. Basic instructions, know a little basic, and it references basic out of the Army, basic training. Open the book, put it next to your Atari computer, turn your computer on your fingers, place your fingers on the keyboard. Yeah, funny, right? that's the kind of theme of this. Here are the characters within, and they're represented like a comic strip. You got Slowpoke, Machine Language Machine, the Wacko Cats. I mean, there's just a lot of, interesting things that if you really want to get into this, you read every page. I guess it could be entertaining. Um, what else? I guess the beginning here would really start in chapter 2, right here. From reading the lines of code that I see throughout the book, I definitely can tell that this is the way they're going to approach it, which I mentioned earlier. It's going to be segmented, and it is a nice way of doing it because you do get a little flavor of how to plot graphics with various graphic modes. You get information or programs to show you how you can create movement or an animation with the graphics. There's also how you can add sound, how you can incorporate your joystick into the program, and there's also memory allocation right here. So there's a lot of things in here. And like I said earlier, the key to this book is how you're introduced to the arcade gaming elements via the fun segments or the jokes, the humor, and also the output that you'll get from some of these programs. Now, I didn't type anything in yet, but I read what some of these programs would do, and it seems pretty interesting. And I think that's what gets people intrigued. You start typing things in and realize, wow, it only took a few lines, well, maybe not a few, but a handful of code to actually produce this output. And that's actually what's great about these short programs, is that it's really easy to change the values in the programs to experiment different results. Now, I used to do that with longer programs back in the day. I would type in, games or just utility programs from Antic or Analog, and then I would heavily rely on those REM statements, which are remark statements. Basically, it's a comment where it tells you what the code that follows will be doing, and it's a nice way to understand what you're typing in, so that way you say, okay, well, here's a section where the sound comes into play. And then you can play around with the values to see if you can make the sound different or even the colors on the screen. With this book, these programs are very short and you are informed with what the code is going to produce. Even though this book has the elements of a game nicely laid out, you still have to come up with an idea of the game itself. So it's not as if you just cut and paste a few things here and there. You got to get an idea of the logic of the game. But this is a very nice book to reference back on how to put the actual working parts within it. So what I'll do is I'll type a few programs in here to show you how short, fast, and easy it is to get some cool output. And I think what I'll do is start with this program right here. And why? Well, it does say stop before you flip the page, which the coding all starts after this page, but it recommends to type this little program to get you started. So let's just do this, and I think I know what it does. I mean, you can see some of the print statements, but let's type this in and give it a go, and we'll see how it looks. All right, I'm all set up here in the workshop, ready to type some programs in from this book. But let me explain what I just did here. I ended up removing the Atari 800 XL that was originally in here, which would be this one here, and put in my other one, which is a modded 800 XL, which has the Sophia 2 modification in the back. And the reason for that is because that goes to an HDMI right into my video capture card into my laptop. And then I have the monitor here for me to see what I'm typing. And then what I'll do is have a split screen here to show you my typing of the code from the book, and then the output you'll see on the other screen. So let's get to it. All right, let's start with that first program. All right, all done. Took what, about maybe 2 minutes, not long at all. We're all set. Let's type run. Let's see what happens. All right, it looks like it says Mercow 10. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, it is flipped over and it says, "Welcome to the topsy-turvy world of Dr. Wacko." Now, it does say in the book here that you can press the start and select buttons to see the results. So let's press start. And there we go. We can read it now. And we'll flip it by pressing select, I believe. Yep, back to that. Pretty neat. All right, let's get back to the book and jump to page 73 and look at this program called Flip Flop Jogger. Let's read what it says about it. It says, "Here is a new set of 3 characters. When we flip through them, the man will appear to be jogging. Actually, he looks like he's on a treadmill, running to nowhere. Sounds like someone I know. Sigh, woe is me. It isn't always easy being a wacko." Again, the humor you're going to find throughout the book. So the data that makes up each character are listed in lines 1000 through 1020 of this program. Very simple program. Looks like, again, 25 lines. So let's get right to it. So make sure we type new to clear out the previous code. The first line is a rem statement. I'm going to avoid that. We're just going to jump right into the code. All right, it's all typed, ready to go. Let's type run and press return. Now let's see what happens. Pretty cool, huh? It does look like a jogger running in place. But those lines of code that I just entered in, taking a few minutes to do so, produces that image. So you can get an idea how you can incorporate that possibly in a game or some type of demo. But it's the fundamentals that you're learning throughout the book, and then allowing you to tweak it here and there so you can customize it to your liking. All right, let's get to the next one. This one is a little bit shorter, a lot shorter, but it's going to use a joystick, which would be kind of cool to see how it works. This one is called Joystick Control. Again, make sure you type new. Let's plug in the joystick. And let's type run and press return. I will show you the movement on the stick and you'll see the changes that are appearing on the screen. As I go up, 14, down, 13, right, 7, left, 11, the button, 0, 1. So it kind of shows you how it actually is registering all movements. Also diagonal, 6, top right, bottom left is 9, top left is 10, bottom right is 5. And you can see all the numbers that come up. Well, this is, again, another component that is useful if you're going to use it in a game where you need a joystick usage. Now, there's a lot more to it than just those lines of code that I type. You have to understand what the stick and the strict commands do. But again, there's a lot more in between here that I just jumped over, but I wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to show things on the screen with devices that you're connecting to the computer, such as a joystick. And of course, incorporating that into a game or some kind of demo or utility or whatever it might be that you're creating could be possible and very simple to do with some basic knowledge that you can obtain from the book. And for this next program, we'll demonstrate a little bit of the coding for sound and how simple it is to put maybe, 10 lines of code to put some sound to your game or whatever it is you're creating. We'll go with, let's see, I'll go with the longer one here. There's 3 different options on this page, or these 2 pages. We will go with the origin unknown version here. It's about 16 lines of code. So let's type this one in and see what happens. And like always, clear out everything, type new. Okay, well that's it. Let's type run and press return. Now there's one last game or program at the end of the book here, very large. I don't know, maybe about, probably, if I had to guess, I'd say maybe 100 lines of code. The lines of code go up to 1,000 and let's say 1,500 in increments of 10. So do the math on that. That would be about 150 lines. Anyways, it's called Myrtle the Turtle. And it says, here it is, gang. Dr. Wacko Special Deluxe Super Duper Bonus Game, Myrtle the Turtle. Myrtle is a long program, the longest in the book, but because I've used some very special tricks, soon to be revealed, it will run on a 16K Atari. Well, we don't have any problems with the Atari 800 XL. Now, I know someone may comment or maybe thinking to themselves, well, why am I typing these programs in? You can probably find this online already typed and just download it and run it. That's probably true because I think the book came with a couple of diskettes with all the programs on there for those that didn't want to type. But this is vintage gaming memories, and why not come back in time and relive these memories of typing? It's not too bad to type, so here we go. Okay, I am done typing. I haven't seen any errors from any of my lines. Actually, I did have one error. I had a typo. But other than that, I haven't typed run yet to see if it errors out. But here is a list of the entire program, which is quite long. I think it took me, I have to say, probably about an hour. And I did take a little bit of a break, but it wasn't too bad as long as you keep your eye on the code that you're typing in and not back and forth. I have my joystick plugged in. I did read a little bit more about what this game is all about. Myrtle the Turtle is the character you are, and you try to lay eggs on corners in the game. And then you need to fertilize the egg, but you're trying to do all that while this amoeba is chasing you. So that's pretty much the premise. So let's see if this works when I type run and press return. All right, good sign. Myrtle is loading. I don't know how long this will load. Hopefully it's not locked up. 1983. Pretty amazing. 41 years ago. Awesome. It does work. All right. Well, let's see. There's a high score, time, and level. I know it's a timed game. I did read that. And I have to at least fertilize one egg in order to continue to the next level. It does say here in the book that the goal is to get to level 20, and that's what it's about. It does say here in the book, Myrtle is just a turtle. All she wants to do is lay and fertilize eggs into the 4 nests located in each corner of the playfield. That's the theme of this game. Her goal is to create as many baby turtles as she can and live to a ripe old age, level 20. All right, well, let's see if we can get this to work, and let's see if I can understand how to play it. So I'm going to press start. There's the time counting down. Okay, I'm the turtle right there moving in the middle, and there's the amoeba chasing me. And oh, those are teleports. I did read that. So I guess I go in these corners, press the button, I lay an egg. I can't fertilize until I get 4 of them. And the problem is that this amoeba, oh, I did it. This amoeba is taking away my eggs and chasing me. The teleport, it says once you land on it, you have to press a direction you want to teleport. And I just press the top right, and that's how I'm getting there. It's pretty cool. I'm glad I read it, because, oops, or else I would never have figured this out. So I have almost all 4. Will I get there before the amoeba gets the one? Now I can fertilize. There we go. 1 fertilized egg. Time ran out. I had 1 egg fertilized. I think I continue. I do. All right, level 2. There we go. Those teleports really do help because you can't get quickly to these corners as fast by just moving like this. So I could really use that speed. Well, I had 3 of them that time. That was nice. Now, that was hard to get all 4 eggs fertilized, and I know I had the opportunity to do that earlier in another level, but I missed out. But that's kind of neat to see what happens when you do get all 4. Well, that is the game. I'd say it's pretty entertaining and definitely challenging. That's for sure. Now, if you have a chance, be sure to check out this great interview that Kay Savitz from Antic, the Atari 8-Bit podcast, did with David Heller. Oh, I guess I should say who David Heller is. He's the author of this book, otherwise known as Dr. C. Wacko. Kay did this interview back in 2015, and it's really good. The link is in the description, so check it out. There are a lot more programs in this book, but hopefully this gives you an idea of how useful and fun that this book would have been back in the 80s when you wanted to know how basic programming worked. Let me know if you had this book back in the 80s or what you think of it now that you had a mere glimpse of it through this video. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out, and until next time, keep your gaming passion for the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.